All right, we're going to do a lesson on a three-point turn. Welcome, Cmsc Auto School. First thing you want to do when you get in the car, set your seats. Then your mirrors. If you set your mirror first and then move the seat, you got to reset the mirror. So, like my good friend Haru says, the seat goes back and forward, tilts forward and back, and it goes up and down. I'm gonna make it so that at 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock, there's a little slack in my arms. I'm sitting up straight. I can see to the horizon, and I can see, and I'm alert and well. Once I got my seat set, I set my mirrors. You just want to get a little bit of the car in the mirror, but this is electric mirrors, so you got to turn the ignition on. And then I turn the knob to the right, get the right side mirror going. I buckle up. It's raining in Massachusetts. When you need the windshield wipers, you also have to turn the headlights on. These are the controls of the car you should know before driving the car, so when the time comes to put them on, it doesn't cause any panic. So I'm ready to go now. When it's safe to do so, I'm going to proceed along the route. That's like Simon says. Whenever you think safety, think smog. Signal, mirror, over the shoulder, make sure there's no one in my blind spot, like a kid on a bike or a tractor trailer truck, which could fit in there. And then I gear and steer. That's the order you do it in. G comes before S. Gear and steer. Coming up to a complete stop here. Complete stop, you're gonna feel a little jerk. That lets you know you've stopped. Put my blinker on, look left, look right, look left again. No cars are coming. My blinker on. I'm going to take us out onto a street now so we can do a three-point turn. I'm glad that beep went off. That was a sign that I didn't check to see if all my passengers were buckled up. Are you buckled, Haru?
Oh, I didn't.
Okay, so I will take a camera of Haru buckling up now. This is the filmmaker.
Thank you for the reminder.
Exactly. That was a good opportunity. Now, that was my mistake. I didn't check to make sure all people are buckled up. It's actually a major infraction on a road test, which would cause a fail. So don't do that at home.
Mistake was of mine.
But also mine, because I'm the driver. I should make sure everyone's buckled up. Okay, we're in the parking lot. You can go between 15 and 20 miles an hour in the parking lot. I say around 17 miles an hour to let the examiner know that you're confident. And if you're going too slow, they might say, pick it up. And if they do, don't let that throw you. Come to a complete stop, feel the jerk. This stop line is 10 feet before the stop sign, but you gotta stop at the stop line. You're getting in the right lane. I'm gonna be taking a right, so I put my blinker on, I signal. All these cars are taking right turns on red. The key to that is you come to a complete stop at the stop line. If there's anything blocking my vision, I can nudge out a little bit more to get past it, as long as I come to another complete stop. And then if there's nothing, oh, the light just turned green, so that's go. But I was going to say, if there's nothing, no cars racing into a football field of space, then you have enough distance. If there's a car 300 feet away and it's going slowly, you have the time, you can do it. You got to get used to timing and judge the speed of a car. I'm going to take a right turn. This is the first turn on the road test. It's a sharp turn. I want to stay on the right side of the road. Going over the line would be a fail. We're going to take you on the most narrow street in West Boylston to do a 3-point turn. When the examiner tells you to pull over, here's a trick of the veterans. You put your blinker on, you check your right blind spot, no bicycles or trucks. As you pull in, you straighten the tires out. And you can tell that by the T of the Toyota is in a perfect T shape. Now I know my wheels are straight. So if they ask me to do reverse driving, I put in reverse, and all I have to do is hold this wheel straight and the car will go straight. I put my arm behind Haru's seat. I turn, I'm looking 90% out the rear window and 10% in the side view mirror. And here I go. I'm keeping it within 12 inches of the curb without hitting the curb. And usually they say right around here, about 50 feet, you can stop. Great. Now we're going to go back and we're going to go to the most narrow street in West Boylston. I'm going to pull over again, once again using my technique, my blinker over the shoulder. And as I pull in, I'm going to straighten the wheels out. Now, oftentimes the examiner will say, secure the car as if you were going uphill. So I'm gonna follow the gear and steer principles again. G comes before S. So gear, park. Steer all the way to the right, and then set my emergency brake, which is in this car near my left foot. So I'm gonna set it until you hear about, Haru often says, over 10 clicks. That's in very good. And the reason why I steered the wheel all the way to the right, because if this parking brake comes loose, and if the emergency parking brake fails, the car will careen off the road because of the way I turn the steering wheel. It won't careen into the road, which would cause an accident or hurt a pedestrian or a child. So now it's completely secure. If everything fails, the car will go off the road safely. Now that I've done that, as you can tell, there's no strong curb here. If there was a strong curb here, and they told me to secure the vehicle as if it were going uphill, I would gear to park, steer the other direction, and put my 10 clicks on with the emergency parking brake. And this way, if the gear and the brake fail, the car will careen until the wheels that are turned this way will hit the hard curb, and it will hold it there, and that'll be safe. But in this town, there's no hard curbs, at least in this neighborhood, so we turn it the other way. Now we're going to do a 3-point turn, and that'll be it for this lesson. The first step of your 3-point turn, I put it into gear, I steered all the way to the left, and then I'm putting my left signal on, I'm checking my left side view mirror, I'm turning my head to make sure no cars or children are coming, and I'm going to use as much as the road as I can without going off the road. You don't ever want to go off the road, because they would call that a major fail and you would fail the practice test. You want to go as far as you can without going off the road. I'm going to gear again, steer in the other direction all the way, put my arm behind the passenger seat, look 90% out the window, and I'm going to release the brake slowly give it a little gas, and as it gets closer to the end of the road, I'm going to, the last 10% of the voyage, I'm going to look to my left and see if my side view mirror has broken the center plane of the road. If it has, which it has in this case, I know I've gone far back enough. I don't want to go any further because I'll go off the road and fail, and I have enough space to exit. So once it does that, I turn the wheel in the other, I gear to drive, turn the wheel in the other direction, put my blinker on, look left and right, and I proceed outside of the three-point turn. I'm heading in the opposite direction, 180 degrees. That was a successful three-point turn. I guess I'll just use this last part of the lesson as we drive back to the safety council to show you the rest of the test route. This residential neighborhood, the speed, like in most neighborhoods, in most towns and cities, is 30 miles an hour. This is a little more clustered, so I want to keep it around 25 miles an hour. Once again, both hands on the wheel. I'm having situational awareness. If anything, a ball rolls into the street, I can stop, slow down, move off to the right. But I'm showing the examiner that I'm driving confidently. I'm not afraid to drive close to the speed limit, which is 30. So I'm going 25. The hill came along, so I'm giving it more gas to compensate for the hill, which would slow the car down. I'm showing good speed control. I come to the stop line. I want to show you something. Cars are coming there. I look to my left. There's a brush of grass blocking my view. So once again, I'm going to use what I call the nudge technique. I come to a complete stop at the stop line, and I'm going to nudge out a few feet, stop again until my sight lines have been cleared. I'm going to look left, right, and then left again. If no cars are coming within a football field or racing into that football field, I can put my blinker on and I can proceed. I have the same obstruction of sight at this upcoming stop sign, which I'm going to take a left at. There's a bush here. So once again, I'm going to stop at the stop line with a complete stop. You feel the jerk. And then I'm going to nudge out past the bush, put my blinker on, left, right, no cars coming to my football field, take a left. Now I'm coming up on a very tricky intersection, which is hard for even other parents and adults. The key with this intersection is your sight line, your visibility. Because of the road turning to the right and being hidden by bushes and trees, it's hard to see up the road. But my eyes have to be on the very top of the road where it's almost hidden. I have to look up in that area, a football field away. If there are no cars coming and it turns green, I can proceed. But if there's a car speeding in that wedge of road, it will take him 3 seconds to get to the intersection, and I can't go. I have to wait behind the stop line until he clears out. So that's what we're gonna do here. I see a car coming now into my football field. He's going slow, but he's pretty close now. So I have to wait until that car flushes through. And the position I wait is behind the stop line. Okay, he flushed through. Now I can proceed because I have a football field until the next car comes. That's how you do that intersection. I'm gonna get it up to 35 again. And like Haru says, I drive like a prince in the center of my lane. I have dignity. I don't get angry at people. I'm calm, confident, wise, experienced. And if a car is not behaving on the other side of the road, I have time to pull over and slow down and avoid going off the road or hitting a pole or a child. But in the meantime, I drive right in the middle of the road. I'm just aware of the other cars on the other side of the road, because driving is more of a thinking skill than a physical skill. That's why when it's raining, oftentimes we do our best driving, because we're really concentrating not to get into an accident. But then the sun comes out, we get into our neighborhood, we realize, oh, this is familiar, I don't have to pay attention, and that's, boom, where an accident happens. We have the green light here, that's a protected left turn. So we can talk about the flashing yellow light at that intersection on another lesson. But we're wrapping things up here. We get into the left lane because we're going to take a left. Complete stop. You feel the jerk. Signal left, right, left. No cars coming. I keep it in the right lane on my side of the road like a prince. I respect other people's property or their side of the road. I get it up to about 17 miles an hour. And I'm gonna park it right where we started the road test. And it's usually at this time of the test, after I gear, steer my wheels straight, shut off my windshield wipers, I go from right to left, shut off the heat, the windshield wipers, the lights, and then the key. And that's usually when the examiner shakes my hand and says, "Congratulations, you've passed the road test. You now have a license at 5 p.m. Thank you very much."